Welcome to Weddings Unveiled, the podcast designed to help you build a productive, profitable wedding or event business. Here's your host, Angela Profit.
Hi, y'all. It's Angela Profit, your event and productivity therapist, coming to you from the heart of Music City in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you so much for tuning in to this podcast of Weddings Unveiled, professional tips and secrets on wedding planning and event design, where we take you behind the scenes of our past experiences in the event industry, what we have learned from them, and how they have made us stronger. This podcast will help you grow a productive and profitable business to launch you into success within the hospitality industry. Today, I'm joined by the best communications and event consultant in the business, Allison Burry.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for having me, Angela. I'm so excited to share some of our past experiences together. We've definitely been through some unique situations over the years. What are we discussing today?
Today, we are going to talk about being honest with your client if they have a bad idea, and to tell them if it's a bad idea, it's really a bad idea.
Well, this, I'm sure, is a great story. What happened?
Well, so this client, which, oh my gosh, we just loved them. Their whole family, from the bride's family to the groom's family. The bride had, I think, 3 sisters, and she was the last one to get married, and they were from out of town. And so every time we had our meetings, the whole family came on both sides. So it was like a family affair every single time. We really got to know them. And of course, when you love the family and you know all the parents and the siblings, like you want to do whatever you can to make them happy. And so this client, she was a very sweet and thoughtful girl, and she wanted these seeds like that people would take for a favor, where they would plant them and like they would watch their seeds grow and like think of their love. Yeah, I mean, it seems a little corny, but for some people that stuff is really important. And a lot of our clients, they don't even really do favors that much anymore unless it's something edible, because people just don't take them. But I just didn't have the heart to tell her that, you know, I didn't want to poo-poo her idea because I really wanted her to be happy. So we told her that we would find the types of seeds that she wanted. She wanted a variety. She told us what she wanted. Well, me not being a very domestic person when it comes to like planting things, and like that's just not me. I'm not good at that. You can't be good at everything. The type of seeds that she wanted were out of season. And so I think we probably called every nursery within like 100-mile radius of where we could get these seeds from. You couldn't even order them online. Like, it was crazy. I'm like, you can get everything you want online. So before we went to another country to get these seeds, we drove around to all these different nurseries and finally found enough of these seeds. And so we found them, and then she wanted them all packaged and with these cute little labels that would tell people like the instructions, and she wanted this beautiful display. Of course, I think Pinterest gave them the idea. I mean, we put so much time and money and effort into this amazing display with their monograms. It was just so pretty. And even though at the end of the night, my team is usually up there getting ready for the fun, formal exit, and we're trying to hand people their favors or their takeaway. And a lot of times people will say, oh, I'm going to go outside and do the sparkler exit and I'll come back in. And then they never do. So we've learned to put things on trays, walk it outside, and pretty much force the favors on people. And again, when they're edible, usually people open them up, they eat them, they throw the trash on the ground, and then we pick it up. But this time, I would say this was a huge party crowd. They loved drinking, and people were very drunk. And they all wanted to go out afterwards, and they certainly didn't want to carry seeds with them or go back to their hotel to, like, put seeds in their hotel room. So no one really took the seeds, which I felt horrible that the bride and her family ended up with all these seeds. I mean, this was years ago, so I bet you they have like a full garden of all these seeds that they watched grow. So, I really wish going back that I would have stood my ground and just told her, like, this is a great idea, but it's somewhat of a waste of money. And typically our clients, like, they party hard. Favors really aren't always the best use of money. And a few other things that happened at that wedding. They were having so much fun dancing on the dance floor. Allison, tell us what happened with this one.
So this was a very interesting experience. I was actually kind of standing over to the side just watching them. We like to have one person out there on the floor at all times just in case the bride or groom or any of the family need anything so they can spot us. And I was out there and they were having a great time. I don't know if there was a drink that spilled on the floor. I don't know what happened, but the bride bit the dust. And she was the most fun-loving, like amazing, sweetest girl. And she got up and was all happy and she was like, oh, I'm okay, it's all good. And I immediately saw that her nose was bleeding. And so I walk out there, we didn't make a big scene, and I just kind of grabbed her by the arm and I was like, let's go to the bathroom real quick. She was like, no, I'm okay. And meanwhile, the blood is gushing worse. And this little girl, she's so sweet. And I was like, no, we're going to the bathroom. In my head, I'm like, we're not going to have blood dripping all down the front of your beautiful white dress. And so I take her to the bathroom, and this venue is huge. And so we have quite a long walk to get to the bathroom. And I'm walking and she's like, really? I'm okay. It's okay. I'm all good. It doesn't hurt. And I'm like, okay, well, we're still going to go to the bathroom. And I'm running because she's running and she's all excited. This girl's always happy. And so we're running down the hall and I have my hands cupped up under her nose trying to prevent anything from dripping onto her dress. And we're just sprinting down the hall as fast as we can to get to the bathroom. We cleaned it up. She went back out on the dance floor. She was totally fine. But it was definitely an interesting experience, and it was lucky that she was such a lighthearted and fun-loving girl, because we've definitely worked with some people who that would not have just rolled off their shoulders as well as it did for her. So we handled it, we all stayed calm. It wasn't the end of the world. She didn't break anything, thank God. So it was just a very funny situation that we still kind of laugh about today.
Something else, too, is this family, they had a lot of vegetarians and pescatarians and gluten-free, and I think we had 4 or 5 different menu options. And so we had these beautiful custom calligraphied menu cards with a custom menu for each person, and their name was at the top of it. And they each had a very specific place of where they were going to sit. They had specific people that they wanted facing the band and specific people that they wanted their back to the band. And so the seating chart really, really is important, especially when clients take that much time to make sure 400-ish people are seated in the appropriate place, and then it's our job to execute it with the catering team. And so I remember one of the parent tables, for some reason, I don't know if seat 1 through 5, accidentally the person setting it up accidentally set it up backwards, but right before guests come in, we always have one of our team members that is very, very attentive to detail and very type A OCD. A lot of times it's either me or Allison doing it, and we have a few other girls that work with us who are very attentive to detail. And we noticed that it wasn't exactly correct, and especially the parents, their seats had to be perfect. So we just simply picked the table up and moved it around a little bit and walked away. Well, the person that on the catering team that was serving that table had already pre-set up their trays in the background with who had fish, who had chicken, who had shrimp, who had no shrimp, who had gluten-free, all these dietary needs. And so when they brought the food out, oh my gosh, the parents were served the wrong thing because the table had been turned and we didn't tell them, or we didn't think to tell them. And so we felt awful. But it wasn't until later when I went to check in with the parents and they said everything has been wonderful, it's beautiful, the food was delicious, but they were served the wrong meal. They fixed it eventually, but I was like, oh my gosh, I knew instantly what had happened. I knew that from us turning the table by 70 degrees, that the catering staff had already set up their trays in the back. So that was one thing. They fixed it. It was no big deal. But again, striving for perfection, especially at the parents' tables. Oh my gosh. I wanted to cringe. The other funny thing that I'll end with is that we always keep in touch with the clients that we just adore and love. And in fact, we get a lot of our future referrals off of clients that we just love working with. And so the bride told us a funny story that the groom's mom, due to their religion, they just weren't drinkers. They didn't drink alcohol, but she decided, she was not going to drink or partake in that on the wedding night. And so at the bachelorette party, which was a few weeks before, that the mom had a little bit too much to drink, and she actually peed in the bed. And so it was a really funny story. And then actually a few weeks later, I was talking with the mom of the groom, and she told me the same thing. So I had to act shocked or surprised because I didn't want her to be embarrassed. And so some of the things that people share with us are very intimate and private, and they end up being funny. And again, it's just, we're all human. None of us are perfect.
Yeah, well, thankfully they were all able to laugh everything off. They were such a fun family, and nothing was ever really a big deal for them, which was awesome. But Angela, what would you say your biggest takeaway was from everything that happened with that family?
I would just say, no matter the circumstances, if something's not going your way, just smile and go with the flow. When people won't take the favors, it's not like we didn't try, and no one got mad. But again, go with your gut and tell your client your previous experiences, and don't be afraid to burst their bubble on an idea.
Yeah, definitely. Can you share with our listeners some of the different products and resources that are available to them to help wedding and event planners?
Absolutely. You can visit our blog at angelaprofit.com, and on the website and on the blog, there's great articles and resources available there. You can also sign up for our email updates to get tips and resources to your email inbox. Some of that stuff we only share with our email subscribers. We also have free webinars, and we cover a variety of subjects on how to grow your business. And then we also have a few live events coming up this year, so be sure to watch social media to learn more about that.
Awesome. Well, Angela, thank you so much for sharing all of your valuable advice with us today. I can't wait for next week to tell more of our incredible experiences together.
Thank you so much for joining me, Allison, and thank you so much to our listeners for joining us today on Weddings Unveiled, professional tips and secrets on wedding planning and event design. Be sure to tune in next week to learn more from our past experiences. If you found this podcast helpful, please share it with other wedding and event professionals. Be sure to subscribe today so you never miss the juicy details of Weddings Unveiled. I'm so passionate about helping other event professionals, and with my background in psychology, I appreciate that our best selves develop from real-life situations that we're sharing with you on this podcast. Thank you so much for listening again. Be sure to tune in next week for more great tips to grow your business. If you have a question or an unresolved issue that you would like guidance on, connect with us at angelaprofit.com. And until then, stay productive and profitable.
You've been listening to Weddings Unveiled with Angela Profit. Join us next time for more insights to help you build a productive, profitable wedding or event business. For more great resources, head over to angelaprofit.com.